Roadrunner Rundown on Bakersfield.com and the CSUB Roadrunners Digital Network. Live from the Dignity Health Studios in downtown Bakersfield, California.
Welcome in once again to Roadrunner Rundown, the official program, CSUB Roadrunner Athletics. Corey Costello here with you. Thanks so much for joining us. Dignity Health Studios in downtown Bakersfield. A lot of stuff to get to on today's program. A great show, really previewing what's going to be a great weekend, coming off of another great weekend that we had last week. We'll have all the highlights and stuff from that. And, of course, previewing what this Saturday is going to be a very cool event, this Saturday afternoon at the Icardo Center, and kind of sets up our guests for today's program. Michelle Chris is going to join us in the first segment of the show. She is a 1989 CSUB volleyball alum, and the importance of the 1989 team is they won the then Division II National Championship at the Icardo Center back in 1989. And so this is, do your math real quick, kids, 25 years since that championship team. So there's going to be a special during the home match on Saturday against Grand Canyon. There's going to be a special 25th anniversary celebration for this team and sort of a reunion as well. And looking forward to that at the Icardo Center. And, of course, special just commemorative edition posters and some autographs and stuff is available this weekend at the Icardo Center, 1 o'clock against Grand Canyon. So Michelle Chris is going to join us. We'll talk about that championship team in 1989. Also, her head coach, who is now the head coach at the University of Arizona, Dave Rubio, who won the national championship here in Bakersfield. He'll be back in town as well. Just so happens the Wildcats have a week off from Pac-12 play, and so he'll be coming to Bakersfield to reunite with his old squad, and he'll be part of the festivities at the Icardo Center as well. And so Dave Rubio will join us in the last segment of today's program on the phone from Arizona as we chat about kind of reminisce about the 1989 squad and preview this weekend's very cool event. Kind of nice way to bring back in a lot of volleyball alumni and celebrate what was one of the greatest, if not the greatest, volleyball team that CSUB had in the 1989 Roadrunners. So we'll be talking about that with Dave Rubio, former head coach at CSUB and current head coach of the Arizona Wildcats, coming up at the last segment of today's program. And sandwiched in between there will be Mike Mendoza, our wrestling coach. The wrestling program releasing their schedule last week, and really good. It's a decent mix of opponents, of locations for home events. They've got some very interesting setups going on this year with where they're wrestling. Of course, Coach Mendoza likes to sort of spread his home matches out and sort of host them at various places throughout the city, throughout the county, throughout the valley for that matter. So we'll be talking with him coming up at the bottom of the hour as well as we talk a little CSUB wrestling as the Roadrunners get rolling here in 2014-15. And, of course, a lot of recaps from this past weekend. And just before we get to the highlights, I want to thank everybody who made our Saturday night men's soccer match a huge success. And if you missed it, if you weren't there, you were one of the few because that place was absolutely jam-packed. But you can watch the replay of the nationally televised game online at the National Soccer Coaches Association of America website and their TV network, which is NSC AA.TV, and it's right there on the front page, the archived edition of Saturday night's broadcast. And the announcer is just complimentary about the city, about the program, about the atmosphere at the main soccer field, and we thank all the folks involved with what was a great night. We thank the fans as well for coming out and supporting the Roadrunners in a big 5-1 win over San Jose State. So we're going to, just before we get to the highlights, just thanks everybody who was involved in that, all our partners, and it made for a great night at the main soccer field. Speaking of which, let's get to the highlights. We'll start with men's soccer at the soccer field Saturday night. Look at this crowd filing into the main soccer field. Yes, this was Bakersfield. No, they're not there for a football game. They're there for a soccer match. Roadrunner soccer specifically. Of course, the opponent we all know, yes, as this young man informs us, is San Jose State, cleared by the crash test dummy. And they're led by none other than former Roadrunners head coach Simon Tobin after 26 seasons at the helm of San Jose State. San Jose State pressuring early. Runners defense, though, coming through. And right here, lazy pass. Don't do that on Joe Massimia. He's going to find the back of the net. Runners lead 1-0. And listen to this crowd roar in the background, and look how pumped these people are. Packed grandstand, and they're excited as Masamiya gets the crowd rolling. The runners lead 1-0. San Jose State would actually tie it in the 35th minute of the match. So we go into halftime 1-1, and guess what? It's time for the rowdy run for new students. Yes, they're just running across the field with reckless abandon. Third year running stronger. That guy got mouse ears. He even added a costume to the rowdy run. But there you go, the new students of the CSUB taking part in the rowdy run. Third year stronger than ever. Second half wouldn't be closed for long. Mario Iniguez, check this out. Give him space. Rocket. Iniguez with the missile shot. Runners lead 2-1. And look at number 9 from San Jose State. That is the look of stunning as the Roadrunners take the lead. Crowd back into it as well. And look, they're throwing the dummy around. There he is. Oh, there goes. There he is right there. There goes the dummy. On to the 56th minute as the Roadrunners continue to pressure. David Velasquez finds Julian Zamora. 3-1 Roadrunners. And again, listen to that crowd as well. And how about a little love for the assist? Yes, right in front of the camera. You always got to give some love to the guy who actually set it up. And well, guess what? They're throwing bodies around again in the crowd. Just 10 minutes later, well, guess who? Once again, the Roadrunners pressuring. Guess who? Hi, my name is Julian, and I'm here to score. The Roadrunners go up 4-1 off that goal. The players pumped as well and very, very excited as the Roadrunners going to go on to win in this one 5-1. But this team excited about that victory, and the crowd excited again. And this guy coming in says, ref, he was offside by that much. No, he was not offside by that much. And the Runners crowd excited all night long. Take a look at these guys. They had a great time. One more from Alex Flores and Christian Duarte. Let the chants begin.
I thought we were better in the second half. And you know, first of all, it was a pleasure to have Simon back here. I think the scoreline was a little bit flattering because I think what we hit in the second half went in. But it was a real pleasure to have him back here last night. Really pleased with our performance, especially in the second half. Really pleased with the points because that was vital. And I'm telling you what, this league is good because that's a good team that we beat tonight. They were really well prepared for the game. I actually thought we were good in the first half, but the goal really woke us up at halftime, their goal. And I thought we responded magnificently in the second half.
It was great seeing Simon again. The utmost respect for Simon and the things he does with his team. It was weird playing against his side for once, but it was a great occasion. First, we'd like to thank the fans. It's an unbelievable turnout. I think, 2,000 people? Yeah, it's great playing in front of a home crowd, and they really give us a lift, with their chanting and everything, so it's wonderful.
It's competitive. We really wanted to come out and show how the system works, and it's very exciting because I didn't get to play underneath them, but a lot of the boys did. So yeah, it was a good feeling.
So Zamora with 2 goals. The redshirt freshman helps the Roadrunners to a 5-1 victory as Bakersfield rolling through their conference opener against former head coach Simon Tobin, and Runners now 7-2-1 on the season. And more importantly, as Coach Grant has pointed out, 3 points in the conference. They are now 1-0 in conference play. And looking forward for the other scores around the Western Athletic Conference, the Roadrunners and make that Seattle and Utah Valley, defending champions Seattle and Utah Valley, tied 1-1. UNLV defeated Grand Canyon as well, 3-0. And Air Force beat Kansas City 2-0. And Incarnate Word blanked Houston Baptist 3-0 in men's soccer Western Athletic Conference action. Upcoming for Bakersfield, Roadrunners will be at Kansas City this weekend on the road, and a tough slate for the Runners right out of Saturday night's conference opener at Kansas City, 5 o'clock CSUB time, Pacific time, in that match on Friday night. And then Sunday at Air Force, I believe the Falcons have yet to lose. They've got several draws on their docket, but not a loss yet. So the Runners at Air Force on Sunday at 12 o'clock. So a lot of upcoming action for the Roadrunners on the men's soccer side of things. Now, on the women's soccer side of things, Runners at home hosting defending champion Seattle early on. Right away, the Red Hawks are going to strike first. Stephanie Verdoya's header to make it 1-0. 1-0. But from header to header, Regafalk that is, breakaway in the finish, make it 1-1 in the 21st minute. Seattle, though, taking the lead just 5 minutes later as Kiana Kraft gets one home here, her first of the season. Seattle leads 2-1. Hedda, though, not finished. Final minute of the half, slipping through the keeper's hands. That's just too easy for Hedda Regafalk. Match tied at 2 apiece going into halftime. Second half, though, more Seattle. 50th minute, Taylor Ritzman off the Verdoya assist gives the Redhawks a 3-2 lead after the keeper comes out of the box. Then Seattle makes it 4-2 as this long shot goes in from Verdoya, her second of the match, third point of the day. But Hedda Regafalk looking for the hat trick, and she gets it just 18 seconds later for the Roadrunners. Nice footwork and finish to make it 4-3 with 15 minutes to play. But again, keeper out of the box, and Seattle finishes it off to make it 5-3. They go on to win 6-3 as they defeat Bakersfield, and here is head coach Gary Kernine.
Score 3 goals at home. You expect to take something from the game for sure. We should have, and credit to them, they kept coming at us, but we feel as if today is a missed opportunity. It's good to see Hedda, anytime you get 3 goals from a top player, you should be doing enough to get something from the game. So yeah, there's positives, and yeah, that's the most goals we've scored this year. But yeah, you just feel at home when you're putting the ball in the back of the net, you should be closing something, you should be walking away with something from the game. So we'll look at it and we'll look at the goals, but I think everyone's disappointed that we didn't get something from that for sure.
So the Roadrunners losing 6-3 to Seattle. I'm sure it's been a long time since Seattle's given up 3 goals, but like Coach Kernine pointed out, usually you get a result when you put 3 goals in, but the Runners losing to a very good Seattle team 6-3 as Bakersfield also fell in their conference opener after the postponement. On Friday night, they lost 2-1 to Utah Valley, but again, Bakersfield playing well the last couple weeks. Just haven't been able to get a victory on that side of the of the box score. But the Runners now will go on the road this weekend. Checking out some other scores though from around the Western Athletic Conference. Utah Valley beat Grand Canyon 2-0 on Sunday, with New Mexico State over Chicago State 6-1, while Pan American beat Kansas City 6-0 on Sunday. Upcoming for the women's soccer team, Bakersfield will be at Utah Valley on Friday at 6:30, and then the Roadrunners go back to Seattle. So they play the same 2 teams the way women's soccer is set up, but they will go on the road to do so this weekend in Orem on Friday and Seattle on Sunday. All right, last set of segments here, or set of highlights here, going to volleyball, where the Roadrunners on Saturday hosting UMKC, picking it up in the second set after CSUB trailed 1-0. Danica Youngblood, one of her team high 17 kills in the match. More Youngblood, but Kansas City at the net all afternoon, one of their 15 team blocks. UMKC then with the kill to win it 25-21, coming up after this block as well. Third set runners, though, are going to wake up a little bit as CSUB is going to feed Danica Youngblood again. Actually, that one's blocked. UMKC wins it there. Then the third set, the Roadrunners sort of wake it up as they tip over the top and they win the third set 25-13. But all ruse in the fourth and final set. Another block coming up here. This Kansas City team just very good. Youngblood picking up another kill, but the ruse at the net again, another block and finisher coming up right here from Kansas City as they go on to beat Bakersfield 3-1. Here's Giovanna Mello.
Overall, there are many aspects of the game that we got to get better at, and so we got to focus on one thing at a time. Yeah, but there are little things that we got to keep getting better, and so if we can get a little bit better, we can keep improving, and then eventually at the end of the season be where we need to be.
So the Roadrunners falling, actually they beat Chicago State on Thursday night in their conference home opener 3-0 and then fell 3-1 on Saturday. Bakersfield led by Danica Youngblood, once again 17 kills for the Roadrunners. Upcoming for Bakersfield, at home on Saturday, 1 o'clock, hosting Grand Canyon, as we mentioned earlier. Special 25th anniversary celebration for the 1989 Division II National Championship team. Michelle Chris will join us later in studio. Head coach Dave Rubio as well. Now the head coach at Arizona joins us in the last segment of the show. A couple other scores from around the WAC. On Saturday, it was Grand Canyon over Chicago State 3-0. Seattle defeated New Mexico State 3-1. And Utah Valley beat Texas Pan Am 3-0. So that is a look at the past weekend in Roadrunner Athletics. A lot of stuff going on. And again, this weekend, 25th anniversary celebration, Saturday 1 at the Icardo Center. When we come back, we will speak with one of the 1989 national champions, Michelle Christ. A Roadrunner will join us in studio. Stick around. This is Roadrunner Rundown.
Hey everybody, I'm Louis Amestoy, the host of the Baco Motorsports Power Hour here on Bakersfield.com. You can watch us live every Tuesday at 11 o'clock as we talk about things going on at Auto Club Formosa Raceway, at Kern County Raceway Park, and of course the historic Bakersfield Speedway. We'll have results, we'll have interviews with drivers, we'll have updates on Kevin Harvick and Casey Mears on NASCAR. Also talk about NHRA, IndyCar, Formula One. Also be joined by Mike Griffith in studio every day.
Kern Business Journal contains news and information from local business leaders and organizations. Topics include agriculture, health and medical, energy, real estate, and more. Visit KernBusinessJournal.com to find out how to subscribe or where to pick up a free copy. To inquire about advertising in the bi-monthly business journal, call 395-7586. Find us online on Facebook and Twitter, as well as on KernBusinessJournal.com.
Save 50 to 90% with the Bakersfield Californians Daily Deal featured on Bakersfield.com. A daily deal is offered each weekday on services from local restaurants, dry cleaners, health and beauty services, retail shops, and local activities for the entire family. The daily deal is 100% local. Find these amazing deals only at dailydeal.bakersfield.com.
Join CSUB Roadrunners basketball for the annual Blue Gold Scrimmage presented by Hall Ambulance Saturday, October 18th at the Icardo Center. The event is free and it's your chance to see the 2014 men's and women's basketball teams, watch team scrimmages, get autographs, and meet the Roadrunners. Doors open at 6 and fans can enjoy select $1 concessions from Uncle's Barbecue. For more information, log on to GoRunners.com. Join us for the 2014-15 CSUB Basketball Blue Gold Scrimmage presented by Hall Ambulance Saturday, October 18th at the Icardo Center. Doors open at 6. Admission is free.
The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund creates educational opportunities for over 300 student athletes at CSUB. By becoming a member and donating to the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund, you're not only helping the Roadrunners fund the scholarship needs of our teams, you're investing in the future. The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund isn't just developing student athletes. We're developing tomorrow's leaders from lessons learned during competition. For more information, log on to gorunners.com/donate and become a member of the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund.
And welcome back to Roadrunner Rundown as we continue on the program and getting ready for a really cool weekend. This Saturday at the Icardo Center, we've got Grand Canyon coming in with CSUB Volleyball, Western Athletic Conference action. But more importantly, a special 25th anniversary celebration to the 1989 Division II National Champion CSUB Roadrunners and bringing a lot of the team back and bringing back former head coach Dave Rubio, who's now the head coach at University of Arizona. He'll be in town as well. Kind of reconnection with the alumni and the current players. And one of those players from the 1989 National Championship team joins us in studio, Michelle Christ. Michelle, thanks so much for joining us. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thanks for this opportunity.
Well, let's talk about this. First of all, 25 years later, how much do you stay in touch with this team? I mean, is this when you win a national championship, are you guys tight for life?
We'll always be bonded.
Yeah.
We will always be bonded. There are people naturally that live out of state. Facebook makes it a lot easier to connect with people. And there are some people here in town that I do stay in touch with.
Yeah, and so it's great when I know this was kind of Giovanna Mello, the new director of volleyball. I know this kind of came on her radar, and talk about how just getting everything. I know you've been a big part of it, but getting everything set up for this weekend sort of came about.
Well, we try to get together every 5 years just for like a little anniversary celebration because it is a big deal, and the fact that Dave Rubio is going to be here this weekend, which is extremely excited. Unfortunately, my team captain, Valerie Cowan, is not going to be here. She coaches at Pomona Pitzer.
Okay.
Very successful team and a coach. But it's going to be a great weekend.
Yeah, and obviously to get Coach Rubio back, I mean, here's a guy, he's a Pac-12 coach now. He's been there for a long time at Arizona. So I think things just kind of worked out. They happen to have this weekend off from Pac-12 action.
I know. It's just amazing. I'm excited to see him. I'm excited to see some of the other players. It's going to be a blast.
Talk about, and as an alumni, as a player who was here and won a national championship, obviously, seeing your old teammates and stuff is going to be great. But what about the reconnecting with the players that currently are here and kind of sharing your story and your experiences, with them? What does that mean to you?
It means a lot. Their faces light up when you go up to them and you talk to them and tell them, right now for them, it's so early in the season still.
Yeah.
We, as I was telling you a little bit earlier, we didn't have the greatest record that year. We came together at the right time, and that's really what matters.
Yeah.
So just to stay focused and do your best and work together as a team because you can't win it on your own.
Yeah, and you were here in '89, and it was just kind of still the whole athletics program was still sort of in its infancy. I still think it is compared to schools around for hundreds of years, but you kind of look back and look forward, like get your thoughts on where the program's at now. I mean, being a Division I program, being in the WAC, I mean, that's a lot of growth in a short amount of time, really.
It is a lot of growth. I know when I was there, our camaraderie, not only with us, with the coaches, all of the coaches, it was so small. I walk on campus now, and there's all these new buildings. I was walking with my son and my daughter because he's in Cub Scouts, and I'm like, yeah, when Mommy was here, this building wasn't here, this building wasn't here. They're like, well, what was here? So it's really exciting for Bakersfield that it has grown as much as it has, and to see them go Division I. It's a transition, but I think it's a good transition.
Yeah, absolutely. Michelle Chris joining us here on Roadrunner Rundown, part of the 1989 National Championship team. Now, looking back, you guys got a chance to play that at home. I mean, so people win national championships, but very few, and the way the Division II model was always set up, for the most part, it was always at a host institution. So you got to win a national title at home. I mean, there are very few athletes that can do that.
I have a smile on my face right now. No one could see it from ear to ear. And it was amazing. We put in that bid, and we won that bid. And it's something I will never forget. Our home crowd was amazing.
Yeah.
Just amazing. And, to have that support behind you when you're winning at home, you can ask for anything else.
Yeah, and we have some of the clips from that game, and the funny thing is, I mean, you can see it on the monitor right now. But I always tell people the funny part is the Icardo Center in 25 years hasn't changed that much apart from the blue floor. But I mean, the crowd really got into this match, and how about? Those uniforms had to be awful to play in. How did you play in what is essentially swim trunks?
I was telling my daughter yesterday that I basically played in bikini bottoms. Well, that's all we knew, So we thought we were cool back then. Again, this is 25 years ago. We didn't have the cool little, snug little shorts that they wear today. But
I mean, you can see the crowd right here. I mean, how excited everybody gets. And now you were playing Sacramento State, who was 30-0 at the time. Is that correct?
Yes.
So unbeaten Sacramento State. You got them at home. Obviously, they traveled a little bit as well. But you guys got a chance to play in your home court. And this was also now the game has changed a lot. I mean, in 25 years. Give us your thoughts really on the change of the game. I know the rally scoring and stuff has changed. So that kind of changes the way the match is played.
In my personal opinion, I don't like all the changes that have been made. They didn't ask for my opinion, I guess. I hadn't gone to a game in a while. And one of my really good friends, Maria Kolatz, who coaches over at Stockdale High School, went and saw her daughter play and went with, actually, I think it was Rachel Morton, and we were kind of mortified, to tell you the truth, when you're just able to almost throw the ball off of a serve versus passing. In my opinion, that doesn't take a lot of skill
Yeah.
versus what we had to do back in the day.
Sure, and it's like any other sport. They're always trying to encourage scoring, and that seems to be what they want to do. But it also seems like the speed of the game today and the strength and size of some of the players. I mean, it's really is amazing how far it's advanced and developed.
Yes, I was on the court. My daughter actually is a ball girl. She's 12 years old, and so she was a ball girl. And I was on the court a few weeks ago when I was watching a team come in. I'm not sure which team it was. And I'm fairly tall, 5'11", and these girls were hovering over me. I'm like, what are they putting in the water these days?
Yeah, it definitely has changed the game, and you can see the crowd getting pumped here. And this was a fairly new Icardo Center. Remember, it opened this year? It was like this was the first season you guys got a chance to play in this building. Before that, you were in what we know as the old gym, and so this was your home court first year. I mean, that had to be special to open a building with a national championship. That doesn't happen very often either.
Yes, extremely exciting.
Yeah, and as we kind of look at some of these here, and the funny part is this is, and I said it, we're lucky that 25 years later this video came out so great. I mean, this is pretty solid. And what was you guys were trailing in that first game, like what, 10-4 right off the bat. I mean, how'd you kind of overcome that, especially in the first part of the match?
I gotta commend my team. I mean, we really pulled together. Mental focus, that takes a lot of mental focus. And we just believed in one another, and we fought back, and we won 15-13, which was huge.
Yeah, and there was the championship point right there. They kind of an error basically by Sacramento State, and that won it for you guys. That doesn't. I mean, that it usually happens either a block or a kill, but this was just happened to be a mistake over the net.
Mistake over the net. Again, that first game we won. The second game we blew them away, 15-1, and again, we won that third game, and it was amazing.
Yeah. Well, first of all, just to kind of see that and see where how far things have come in the sport, and then really the fact that you guys are still friends and still talk to each other and want to come back and be part of the university. I mean, that to me is something that I think we haven't done enough of in the past, and I'm glad that we're kind of reconnecting with a lot of these folks.
I think it is important. I think it is important to support your local university, whether you are an athlete, a student athlete. The funding, as we all know, has gone down quite a bit, and the pay that people have to expense out to go to college now. I think when I went to school, it was $500 a quarter, something like that.
I think kids spend that on books now.
I know.
Well, you're one of the. How many players off the top of your head kind of stayed local from that team? I mean, obviously you're one of them, but how many? Was there just a couple, if that?
I think Rachel Morton, Wesley Coker. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. A couple of the coaches,
Okay.
Colleen Rickert, Vicky Van Kampen.
Okay.
We had 4 amazing coaches. Robert Wortman, not forgetting you, buddy. And he lives up in Sacramento. I saw him about 2 months ago, so it was really good.
So this will be you'll have a lot of people literally coming into Bakersfield this weekend for this. So that's going to be great, and all their families as well. So looking forward to that. And we're just about ready for a break anyway. So I thank you so much, Michelle, for joining us on the show, and we'll see you this weekend at the Icardo Center.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll be right back, folks. When we come back, Mike Mendoza, our wrestling coach, joins us, and more on this volleyball anniversary. We're going to have Mike Mendoza, our head wrestling coach, joining make that Dave Rubio, the former head coach of the Roadrunners, joining us in the last segment of the show. We'll be back. This is Roadrunner Rundown.
Buying a home is one of the most important decisions you can make. Scott Tobias Real Estate is here for you. Allow our seasoned and professional associates guide you through every step of the way. Scott Tobias Real Estate is a full-service real estate company providing expert assistance in residential and commercial real estate. The real estate business has changed in many ways over the years, but the desire for excellent customer service is still very much in demand. Our objective is not to be the biggest, but to offer the best real estate services. We're open 7 days a week.
I am not going to ask him about funguses.
Fungi.
Honey, have you called Gunlocks about fixing that toilet upstairs?
You know, I saw a plumbing episode on the Fix It channel. Yeah, I can fix it.
You could try it yourself, or you could just call Gunlax and save your marriage.
Hey, honey, I think I did it.
Gunlax, 327-3052.
That wasn't so bad.
Introducing TBC Mobile from the Bakersfield, California. The most complete news, sports, weather, video, opinion, and lifestyle coverage in Bakersfield and Kern County. It's the easiest way to stay up to date on all things local while on the go. Read it on your smartphone or tablet. Download now by searching Bakersfield Californian in the Apple, Google, and Amazon app stores.
We pursue excellence in the classroom and strive to achieve our potential. We compete on the field with integrity,
on the court with respect,
and in the pool with distinction.
We are strong leaders in our community and gain values from our biggest fans.
We continue the legacy of commitment to our universities, to our coaches, to our teammates, and most importantly to you.
We learn, we compete, we inspire.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund creates educational opportunities for over 300 student athletes at CSUB. By becoming a member and donating to the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund, you're not only helping the Roadrunners fund the scholarship needs of our teams, you're investing in the future. The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund isn't just developing student athletes. We're developing tomorrow's leaders from lessons learned during competition. For more information, log on to gorunners.com/donate and become a member of the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund.
No. Welcome back into Roadrunner Rundown. My thanks to Michelle Chris joining us, 1989 volleyball alum, and Dave Rubio, her coach from 89, now the head coach at Arizona, will join us on the phone in the next segment, talk about their 25th anniversary celebration this Saturday at the Carter Center, part of the Roadrunners versus Grand Canyon match, which will start at 1 o'clock. Well, they're getting close to the winter sports season, and of course, we'll have our winter sports preview edition of Roadrunner Rundown coming up in a few weeks, but in the meantime, we want to talk about the recently released schedule for the 2014-15 wrestling team. And welcome to the program now, head coach Mike Mendoza. Coach, good to see you again. How you been?
Good. Thanks for having me.
You guys are good at that time of year, right? Practice is starting, schedule's out, practice is starting, so it's time to get down to business, right?
Yeah, we're well on our way and ready to compete.
You know, your guys, obviously we know how hard wrestlers work. I mean, your guys are always in the wrestling room anyway, but now you actually officially get to start practicing them yourselves.
Officially this Friday is the official start date.
Yeah. But I mean, you guys have some workouts, and you guys have guys that are always in there on their own. I mean, it's a sport where you have to really be self-disciplined, don't you?
You do. I mean, you've got to put in more time than what we put in front of you.
Yeah, and so I want to talk real quick before we get to the schedule, just this team. A couple years ago, they were young but talented. Last year, they were a little more experienced. This year, some of your top guys in top weight classes are upperclassmen. I mean, you got to be pretty excited about this squad because these guys have been around for a couple years, but now they're upperclassmen.
Yeah, I think it's been a slower building process than I thought it would be. I thought last year would really be a breakout year, but just with lineup changes and some injuries, just kind of changed a little bit of everything. But, we do have our core group of guys that are older now, juniors, and so it's going to be a good year.
And that also, I mean, to have really your core group and your core not just having upperclassmen, but having successful upperclassmen. Because you've got guys. How does that change the team dynamic? Because you've got guys that not only upperclassmen and are just bossing people around, but they've won championships, and so other people will listen to them.
It's important. I mean, I think having an All-American last year and Bryce Hammond and coming back and being on the team, I think it elevates everybody because those guys are working out with an All-American. They see it. They see what he's accomplished. They believe that they can do it. And, we've had guys with some success. I mean, he was a 2-time Pac-12 champ. And then, Ian Nichols, a Pac-12 runner-up. Timmy Box, Pac-12 runner-up 2 years ago. Was out last year due to injury. But so we have some guys that are ready to step in and make big things happen this year. And then, of course, everybody around the team sees that as well. And it's going to be a good year.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I drove onto campus very early last week, and your guys they all ran by me. Time for that annual early morning run from the wrestling team. Now let's talk about the schedule a little bit. You guys will get going. Your blue gold exhibition meet inter squad is Saturday, October 25th at the Icardo Center at 5:00, and then you open for real though. Your home opener, Stanford, on Sunday, November 2nd, 2:00. I mean, that's a big way to open up your schedule.
It is. They're a good team. It'll be definitely a big opening for us. And right now our job is to get prepared for that, and we are. But yeah, it's a good test right out the gate. And
then you guys will you really like to spread your program around, I guess you could say. Being the only Division I in the Valley wrestling program, you will be hosting the Gilroy Duels at Gilroy High School, Appalachian State, and Illinois coming in for that on the Friday, November 14th.
Yeah, Illinois had a national champ from Gilroy High School, and so they were making a swing out here and wanted to compete at Gilroy High School for their national champ, and a couple other guys they have from California, and so took advantage of the opportunity, and that's where we'll be wrestling.
And then I know you always enjoy taking the Roadrunners to Fresno and putting the program on display there. The Roadrunner Open is going to be hosted at Selland Arena on Sunday the 16th, so you'll kind of be up in little north of here that whole weekend. But Sunday, the Roadrunner Open. Talk about that tournament a little bit, and again, the reasoning to have it in Fresno.
Well, a couple years ago, California USA Wrestling, Rob Valario approached us and said, "Hey, you need any help running your tournament?" He brought a truck down here with mats and clocks and workers and everything and helped us run this tournament, which is a huge relief for me. Allows me to coach a little bit more instead of worry about running a tournament. And then he mentioned that, he could get the Selland Arena, which was, a fantastic facility, put a lot more mats down. And so we did it there. It allows us to have a set date, which is important when you run a tournament, have a set date so that teams can plan their schedules around it. It's been a huge help having it there at the Selland Arena, and obviously I'm able to coach. I mean, I just take my team and coach. And yet, the proceeds from the tournament come to our program. So
and you bring up an interesting point that every coach you talk to says, "Wow, about 10% of my job is actually coaching." But you've also got the fundraising aspect and a lot of other things going on. So how much of your job is normally actually just coaching?
10%. I don't know the number on it. A lot of times I'm not thinking about coaching, so much. But we have a great community, really a great community. The Varners, Vernon and Janice have been a big, support group, and Craig Tobin and, the Western Archillian Foundation, Glenn Bland and Bland Solar. I mean, there's a number. I mean, if we've got about 20 minutes, I can name everybody that's really helped our program. It's been a huge help from the community. But yeah, there's a focus in that area to raise the funds, and the coaching kind of gets lost and sidelined a little bit.
But I think the good news is you always have you always get a certain class of guys and a certain class of individuals that you don't have to necessarily worry about them academically and stuff like that. I mean, so that has to help as well. You got to recruit the right kids to make sure you're not tracking down progress reports and worrying about grades when you've got a lot of other things going on as well.
Yeah, there's definitely, you got, 25 guys on your team, and, they're growing up. They're becoming adults, so they need some guidance and some correction sometimes, and we're their coaches and parents, in a way. And so they take some time. But, yeah, there's some guys on our team, man, they're my favorites. You know, the guys that come through, you don't worry about their grades. You don't worry about them showing up on time. You don't worry about them working hard. They just take care of business. And
Absolutely.
So those are the guys we look for.
Yeah, for sure. And then wrapping up kind of the 2014 portion of the home schedule, you guys will host Northern Colorado. Again, another one sort of spread out. You'll be at Bakersfield High School hosting that one too. So another sort of, how much of those are kind of like marketing opportunities for your program?
Well, I mean, sometimes things happen by chance. It just so happened that the WAC volleyball tournament's at that time where Northern Colorado was coming out, and just turned into a situation we thought, hey, have it at Bakersfield High. Half our team is from Bakersfield High. So just in terms of marketing, it'd be great to have a homecoming for those guys.
Yeah.
Again, they thought they wrestled their last match in that gym, and now they're going to be putting on a different uniform, but wrestling in that gym again. And just a great for just change of venue and nice little marketing.
Yeah, and I think it definitely showcases the program. And then 3 more home throughout the year. It doesn't seem like you guys are home very much this year once you get into 2015. But January 10th against Brown at 7, Sunday, January 25th against San Francisco State, and Wednesday, February 11th against Cal Baptist. So a lot of road stuff thrown in there as well. You guys will be at Oregon State. That'll be on the Pac-12 network on January 17th. And then the Pac-12 championships again back at Oregon State and on the Pac-12 network as well. So you guys have a really interesting schedule, kind of spread all over the place a little bit, but going to your big tournaments like normal, Reno Tournament of Champions, Cliff Keeney Invitational, and the Midlands. Obviously, those are important ones for you.
Yeah, those are big tournaments. I mean, you're going to see, I think at the Cliff Keen, there's going to be 8 of the top 20 teams there in the country, and NCAA runner-ups at Reno TOC will be there, that team, and the Midlands is always a tough tournament. So, yeah, that's a heavy tournament month.
How much do those 3 tournaments help, especially your guys that you're really expecting to do well in the Pac-12 and even nationally? I mean, how much are those 3 tournaments used as a measuring stick for them to realize, okay, here's what I've seen, here's what I've been up against, here's what I have to do to get to that level?
Yeah, I think from the very first tournament, Cliff Keen, early December, still early in the season, these guys go into this tournament, and that's kind of the big test for them. They're going to see, nationally ranked guys. Those guys, as we, place in that tournament, you can pretty much expect to be ranked nationally by placing in just that tournament and helping yourself, earn a spot to the NCAAs.
What for you this year? I mean, you're looking at this season, looking at this team, looking at this schedule. What kind of, for you as a coach, when you look back and we get to like April, if you're looking back on the year, what would be for you considered a successful season?
I hate this question, but a successful season, man, that's a tough question to answer. But really, winning the Pac-12 championship,
right? Having
6 guys at the NCAAs and multiple All-Americans on the podium, that would be a successful season.
And looking at the Pac-12, I mean, you guys, this is one of your better teams in years. I mean, where do you think you kind of stack up in the Pac-12?
You know what? It's all these teams are kind of changing. Stanford's going to have a different team, a lot of new guys. We're going to have a lot of new guys in the lineup.
Yeah.
Oregon State's going to have some new guys in the lineup. And obviously they've been the Pac-12 champs the past couple years. And so, they're the favorites at the beginning of the season. Going into the postseason, we'll see how that changes. But, we're going to focus on is being the best team that we can be, and that'll put us in a position where we can win a Pac-12 title.
Nice. Well, good to hear. And again, the Blue Gold scrimmage come up on the 25th of October, and then the home opener on Sunday, November 2nd against Stanford. And Coach, we'll be talking to you again as we get ready for the start of the season. And but good luck to you, and we'll chat again soon.
All right.
All right, Coach Mike Mendoza here on Roadrunner Rundown. When we come back, we'll chat with Dave Rubio, former head volleyball coach at CSUB, now at the University of Arizona. We'll chat about his 25th anniversary of the 1989 National Championship coming up this weekend at the Ag Carter Center. Back after this, it's Roadrunner Rundown.
Introducing TBC Mobile from the Bakersfield Californian. The most complete news, sports, weather, video, opinion, and lifestyle coverage in Bakersfield and Kern County. It's the easiest way to stay up to date on all things local while on the go. Read it on your smartphone or tablet. Download now by searching Bakersfield Californian in the Apple, Google, and Amazon app stores. Kern Business Journal contains news and information from local business leaders and organizations. Topics include agriculture, health and medical, energy, real estate, and more. Visit KernBusinessJournal.com to find out how to subscribe or where to pick up a free copy. To inquire about advertising in the bi-monthly Business Journal, call 395-7586. Find us online on Facebook and Twitter, as well as on KernBusinessJournal.com.
Hey everybody, I'm Louis Amestoy, the host of the Baco Motorsports Power Hour here on Bakersfield.com. You can watch us live every Tuesday at 11 o'clock as we talk about things going on at Auto Club Formosa Raceway, at Kern County Raceway Park, and of course the historic Bakersfield Speedway. We'll have results, we'll have interviews with drivers, we'll have updates on Kevin Harvick and Casey Mears on NASCAR. Also talk about NHRA, IndyCar, Formula One. Also be joined by Mike Griffith in studio every day.
Join CSUB Roadrunners basketball for the annual Blue Gold Scrimmage presented by Hall Ambulance Saturday, October 18th at the Icardo Center. The event is free and it's your chance to see the 2014 men's and women's basketball teams, watch team scrimmages, get autographs, and meet the Roadrunners. Doors open at 6 and fans can enjoy select $1 concessions from Uncle's Barbecue. For more information, log on to GoRunners.com. Join us for the 2014-15 CSUB Basketball Blue Gold Scrimmage presented by Hall Ambulance Saturday, October 18th at the Icardo Center. Doors open at 6. Admission is free.
The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund creates educational opportunities for over 300 student athletes at CSUB. By becoming a member and donating to the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund, you're not only helping the Roadrunners fund the scholarship needs of our teams, you're investing in the future. The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund isn't just developing student athletes. We're developing tomorrow's leaders from lessons learned during competition. For more information, log on to GoRunners.com/donate and become a member of the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund.
Welcome back to Roadrunner Rundown as we continue on the program. My thanks to Michelle Chris for joining us in the first segment of the show. Mike Mendoza, our wrestling coach, joining us in the last segment as Bakersfield gets ready to open their schedule. October 25th is their Blue Gold Scrimmage. And speaking of Blue Gold Scrimmages, you just saw the commercial for it, but men's and women's basketball has their Blue Gold Scrimmage next Saturday, October 18th at the Icardo Center. Admission is free. We'll talk more about it on the show next week, but free tickets. We got $1 concessions on select items as well from Uncle's Barbecue. And see both teams scrimmage, meet them, autographs, buy your season tickets for the year, select your seats as well for men's basketball games, all that great stuff. Next Saturday at the Icardo Center, absolutely free and presented by Hall Ambulance. So we'll be talking more about that next week on the show. But this weekend at the Icardo Center, we're going to have a not only is Grand Canyon in town for a Western Athletic Conference matchup with the Roadrunners at 1 o'clock, but it's also marking 25 years since the 1989 Division II National Championship team, and Michelle Chris was on that team. We talked to her in the first segment. My pleasure now to welcome to the show the head coach of that 1989 squad, now the head coach at the University of Arizona, Dave Rubio. Coach, thanks so much for joining us.
Well, it's great to be, and it's great to be talking to you. Thank you.
Well, I guess looking back, Coach, I mean, I know time flies, but can you believe it's been 25 years since you won that national title here in Bakersfield?
Yeah, it's hard to imagine. You know, life just kind of moves forward, and all of a sudden you look back and it's 25 years, and I certainly have a lot of fond memories of my time at Bakersfield.
Let's talk about how this event kind of came about. I knew our new head coach and director of volleyball, Giovanna Mello, always wants to do stuff to kind of reconnect the alumni. But, what was the conversation like when you were contacted about possibly coming back and sort of celebrating your national championship here in Bakersfield again?
Well, to her credit, she really was very proactive in putting this event together. And, it's a difficult time for a lot of the coaches who are in season to try to find a window of time to come in and celebrate that championship. And so it worked out in our schedule that, this coming Saturday, was an opportunity for us to fly in, and I'm not sure how many of the former players will be able to make it, but I'm excited about coming back. And like I said, there's just a great moment in my life when I was living in Bakersfield, and have a lot of great friends there. And obviously winning as much as we did was a terrific experience for me.
Let's talk about that team a little bit. Michelle was pointing out when she was on earlier. She said, we weren't the best team. We just got really hot at the end. I mean, was that kind of the case with this team, especially beating a very good Sacramento State team for that national title?
It was a rough year. I mean, I think if any of the players were able to look back that 1989 season, we went into postseason and our record was 17-15, and a lot of credit has to go to my assistant coach, Rob Wardman, at the time, who I felt was really instrumental in keeping that group of young ladies and myself on track and focused on the right things. And he had won, as an assistant coach, a few national championships at Cal State Northridge. And so he had a lot more experience than I had in terms of dealing with all the variables that go with, having a very up and down season, and being able to keep us in a position to be able to, kind of get on a run at the end to win the national championship.
And not only, just making a run at the end, but even in that particular match, I mean, I know you went down early in the first game, 10-4, and Sacramento State hadn't lost all year long. I mean, there was a lot of pressure, but it seemed like your team just sort of powered right through it and got the job done.
Well, I remember, we really, Sacramento State was certainly on a run, and I forget what the lead was, and if it was 10-4, I'm surprised it wasn't bigger than that. But I remember what happened was that all our fans, led by Chuck Capani, came in, and I think the swimmers were part of that, and that was the kind of the bolt of energy that we needed. And from that moment that they walked in the door to the end of the match, we were able to raise and elevate our play and put ourselves in a position to win. And it really, I don't know if we would have won, quite honestly, had those guys not shown up, because as soon as they walked in the door, it was a dramatic difference in how our execution was.
Absolutely, and we're fortunate to have the video of that match. We're showing some of it on the screen right now, and you can definitely see the fans being a part of that in a jam-packed, nearly brand-new Icardo Center as well. So you get to come back to the building. Have you been back to the Icardo Center since you've been in Arizona for, what is it now, 23 seasons?
I have been. I go back. I've done a lot of recruiting, actually, in Bakersfield through the course of my years here at Arizona. But like I shared with you earlier, I have, several friends there that I'm still very close with. And the former coach there, John Price, and his wife, Sarah Slayton, are two of my closest friends. And so I'm back there visiting with them or recruiting. So I've been on campus, and, the whole city of Bakersfield has changed so dramatically for the good, especially, the west side of Bakersfield. It's really been a remarkable change, and the campus has changed dramatically. Really beautiful area now that's surrounding the campus and the campus itself. Far cry from when I got hired back in 1987.
Yeah, I was going to say, it wasn't much out there.
Yeah, for those who, are lifelong residents, 1987, when it was that far west of Stockdale, there wasn't much out there, including the campus. It was a rough ride for a few years.
Well, I tell people as I was looking through the video and putting it together for the show, I said, well, the good news is, I guess, the Icardo Center hasn't changed much other than the blue floor we have. It looks pretty much the same. So you'll feel a little bit at home here this weekend. But, real quick, your time in Bakersfield, I mean, what did that mean? Obviously, it really set you up for some success at Arizona. I mean, since then, you've had several NCAA tournament appearances, 16 of those to be exact. And what did your time in Bakersfield kind of teach you as a coach and then help provide for you in your future?
Well, Bakersfield, when you grow up in Southern California, Bakersfield is really not kind of the place that you think that you're going to end up at, and even though it was very close, because I grew up in the San Fernando Valley in Northridge, but it was only an hour and a half away. So my experience at Bakersfield really set the foundation of my coaching and coaching philosophy. And what I learned during that 5-year period of time is really I've taken everything that I've learned from that period of time to where I am right now for the last 23 years at Arizona. I would not be the person I am or the coach I am without the experience that I had at Cal State Bakersfield. There were just so many aspects of that program and leading that program and trying to build that program that taught me so many things that I currently now apply here on my current job here at Arizona. So it's instrumental, and that's why Bakersfield, Cal State Bakersfield in particular, will really be a special place for me, and I can never repay what they gave me.
Awesome, well said. And finally, how excited are you to kind of be back and see some of these players and sort of reconnect with that very special 1989 team?
It's going to be terrific. Really fun. I think for all of us. It was. I think you can still. I can still close my eyes and still picture the individuals on that team and that moment and that run in the NCAA tournament. And fortunately, we were able to host all the way through. And I think that also helped, for us to get on the run. But it's going to be really, exciting to see the players, the former players. And I tell, I've been at Arizona a lot longer than I was at Bakersfield. And I tell all my former players that the best part about being a coach is seeing your former players. It's really not coaching. It's actually seeing your former players and see how they've developed and how they've grown throughout the years. And I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome. Well, Coach, we look forward to seeing you as well. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you on Saturday back here at the Icardo Center.
Sounds great. I appreciate you having me on.
All right, Dave Rubio, head coach, University of Arizona, and former head coach of the CSUB Roadrunners, and of course the 1989 Division II National Championships. He went on to win. He's been on to win a Pac-12 title at Arizona. He's been in 16 NCAA tournaments with the Wildcats as well. When he took over that program, they hadn't won a single conference match the season prior. Since then, his 416 and 247 in Pac-12 play. So there you go. Not a bad run out of Dave Rubio, our former head coach, and now with the University of Arizona. They're all back on Saturday, 1 o'clock at the Icardo Center. Make sure you come out and join. It's going to be great to see those faces. And then, of course, a special tribute video to that 1989 team going to be played at halftime as well. Just a nice festivities as well. You can actually even watch that game online, available at GoRunners.com. We'll have a special video feed of that match as well. Check it out online at GoRunners.com. Check out this show anytime online at GoRunners.com. Get archived editions of the program as well as news, headlines, and much, much more from the CSUB Roadrunners. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/CSUB Roadrunners, on Twitter and Instagram at CSUB Athletics. Next week, some basketball talk as we preview the Blue Gold scrimmage and more from men's soccer after a great weekend this weekend. Back home next weekend. We'll talk about it on next week's edition of Roadrunner Rundown. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Corey Costello. This has been Roadrunner Rundown.